Let's begin today's Vanguard news by giving English players no new options to play against the Bavsargra and Drajeweled matchups in their Summerfest regionals, as the English versions of these ESS09 and 10 are delayed from their original release window by 2 weeks to the 12th of September. But since Drajeweled has a rule that any new product can't be used in any major event for the first 2 weeks of their release, they won't be playable in any Summerfest event until the 27th of September. Besides the usual production issue reasons, this delay would make more sense if Drajeweled suddenly releases a new ban list that would take effect before the 27th of September, thus forcing players to buy them in droves if Lima and Reziel all get hit like in Japan. With that out of the way, time to give players more reasons to hate Bavsargra as she gets 3 new supports. On the bright side, your Drajeweled deck set investment won't go to waste as it too is getting new support. Sealed Blaze Dragon Udarana while on rear guard lets you put itself into your soul when your Vanguard is armed to give one of your units 5k power. The obligatory pack filler, just to say they gave something a new support. The irony here however is Bavsargra didn't need any. Sealed Blaze Dragon back to while on rear guard gets 5k power when it's boosted by a unit with the dress boost ability and your Vanguard is armed with 2 or more cards. And it cannot be retired by your opponent's card effects until your opponent's next turn. Ironic that Bavsargra has a rear guard that's immune to retire abilities. It's like the devs knew that there's nothing but Bavsargra mirror matches in the top tables. Sealed Blaze Dragon Samu Padru once per turn, while on the back row rear guard lets you stand itself when your other rear guard in the same column as it stands. Then it gets 5k power if you have a grade 3 or higher Bavsargra Vanguard. And while on rear guard, you can put itself into your soul at the end of the battle it boosted, and your Vanguard is armed with 2 or more cards to draw a card. Nothing like giving an on-theme Shenri clone to a 5 attack turn deck with triple drive with 2 crits. It's not like they need to use Shenri, but it's kind of Drajeweled to give them the option that most decks couldn't even dream of. And in case you didn't catch my sarcasm, Bavsargra didn't need this, and other decks could have used a card like this instead. Julius Draco Kid Glow is your typical D-series starter that didn't need to exist, since the right line doesn't even need a specific starter and only exists to fill the booster set. Dual Core Dragon Glint when ridden over by Demonic Stone Dragon Jewel Neil Luster lets you put up to 2 cards with different grades from the top 5 cards of your deck into your soul. The grade 1 right line went from being a quick 13k rush card into a Melissa clone. This is less of a nerf and more of a side graders filtering 2 cards from your deck, especially cards that want to be in the soul might pay off. Demonic Stone Dragon Jewel Neil Luster when ridden over by a grade 3 Drajeweled card makes you soul charge 1 card, then draw a card if your soul has Julius Draco Kid Glow. And while on rear guard during your turn, it gets 5k power if your Vanguard is Demonic Jewel Dragon Emperor Drajeweled Magnus. This is an upgrade over the old ride line as it's no longer an on-hit ability and only requires you to have glint in your soul. Would have made more sense if they made glow the requirement instead. Demonic Jewel Dragon Emperor Drajeweled Magnus, while on Vanguard at the beginning of your ride phase makes you put 2 cards from your drop zone into your soul. While on Vanguard at the beginning of your battle phase, it gives all your front row units 5k power if your soul has a Drajeweled card. And while on Vanguard, you can pay for Soul Blast with different grades when this unit attacks a Vanguard. To set your opponent's Vanguard's power to 0, then this unit gets an extra crit if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher. Then give one of your Demonic Jewel Dragon rear guards a once per turn auto ability if this unit's critical increases by this card's effect and you have 4 or more damage, or if you Persona Road this turn. That lets you pay 1 discard when it attacks to set its drive check to 1. And can perform drive checks. This card is basically Ignis on turn 3 with the added benefit of giving Demonic Jewel Dragon rear guards the ability to perform a drive check. But I'm sure players will find a way to use Ignis in this deck regardless to justify their master deck set purchase. Rampage Tri-Chimera while on rear guard gets 5k power when it attacks if you have a grade 3 or higher Drajeweled Vanguard, but it goes into your soul at the end of that battle. So basically a 18k version of the original Jewel Core Dragon. It's not even a Demonic Jewel Dragon, so what was the point of this card? Master of the Veiled Wings Vesper when placed on rear guard lets you put a card in hand into your soul to draw a card. then it gets 5k power if you have a grade 3 or higher Drajeweled Vanguard. Again, what the hell is the point of making new support if it's not going to be a demonic jewel dragon? This is the equivalent of a game company making a new console with the promise of a new feature, but don't release a game with said feature in mind. Finally, demonic jewel dragon Drajeweled when put on the Guardian Circle gets 5k shields if you reveal a grade 3 Drajeweled card from your eye deck, or have a grade 3 or higher Drajeweled Vanguard. And if you have a grade 3 or higher Drajeweled Vanguard, it gets all of these effects. When placed on rearguard during your main phase, you can soul charge 1 card, then pay 3 energy to call a grade 3 or lower card with a different name than this card from your soul. And once per turn while on rearguard, its drive check becomes 2 when it attacks a grade 3 or higher unit, and you have 4 or more damage. Finally, a demonic jewel dragon rearguard unit. Good luck hard drawing into this card if you want to use the rearguard drive check ability less you call your persona right copies to rearguard. Guess this opens up the deck for broken promo demonic jewel dragon cards in the future if you want more. And that concludes this Vanguard news without the bullshit. Special thanks to my Patreon members for continuing to support my content creation. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if you're pissed that you can't play full powered Virgil or Aura Station until the first week of October.